Welcome to the Naked Coach Collective. We're not just your average coaches, we're your powerhouse of inspiration and your no-nonsense guide to unlocking your hidden potential. We are an eclectic mix of four, each with a unique journey, though we share a passion for transformation through coaching. Tune in every week for topical discussions and witty banter on all things coaching. There might be a few laughs along the way too, but don't be fooled. We're serious about helping you navigate life's twists and turns with clarity and confidence. Are you ready? Sit back, relax, and immerse yourself in the Naked Coach Collective podcast. Hello listeners. Welcome to this week's episode of the Naked Coach Collective podcast. I'm Dashna Qureshi, aka Dee, and I will be hosting today's podcast and interviewing a very special guest in the field of career coaching. She has built her business as a career coach and mentor as a natural progression from her roots in the corporate world. Her company, MKJ Consulting Limited, works with clients to craft individualized career transformations that align with their passions and their skills. I'm very excited to introduce my friend and Wonder Woman to you, Manjinder Javl. Hi, Manjinder. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Darshana. Thank you so much. That was an awesome introduction. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I'm on here with you. Yay.
Great to have you. I tell you what, I'm so looking forward to our chat because we have known each other quite a long time, haven't we? But there have been big gaps.
Correct. Yes, we've known each other since school days. So when we were little, basically, I don't know, 5, 6 or something,
And coaching brought us back together. So that's like 1+ for coaching already.
Exactly. So it's only been, I don't know, the last several years or so, we've kind of got back in touch, and the power of social media, really. Yeah. And it's been great to reconnect after such a long time. Honestly, it's just so nice. Yeah. Feels like it doesn't seem like it was that long ago. No,
not at all. I mean, when I saw you and think doing, I thought, right, I love this girl. I really want to find out more about what she's doing. So I checked out your website. I checked you out on social media. I did a bit of snooping around, and I found that gosh, you're so interesting. You've done so many things. So why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your story? How did you get to where you are now?
Oh gosh, that's a long question, isn't it? But I'll try and keep it short. So how did I get to be as a career coach? So I've had, oh gosh, when you say decades of experience in terms of corporate world, and I've worked in various industries, and I've worked in market research, I've worked in banking software with more of the marketing, business development, market research, sort of changed industries, even became a yoga instructor along the way, and then went back into the corporate world. And so basically I've always had an interest in a wide variety, a really good learning, and I wanted a curiosity to do something different. And I think my desire for variety has led me to do many different things. And so I ended up being a career coach as just a natural progression after being in the corporate world for a while. And I wanted to do something much more unique and more individual for myself, and really make an impact on others by imparting my knowledge, my wisdom, as well as, helping people in careers, because I think that's a fundamental issue. We spend a lot of time in our daily lives, in the career. So, as a life coach, as a career coach, I think a career is really important, because if you're not happy with what you're doing, it really just sort of seeps into everything else, right? So I ended up doing that as a career coach, and I wanted to be able to work from wherever I wanted, not just be stuck in one place. So I wanted to work for myself, and that's in a nutshell how I've been here, and how I have come to be here, basically. Yeah.
I love that. And when you said, work for myself and from wherever I want to, just let everybody know where.
Right now I'm in Barbados, sunny Barbados. So excuse me, just too much sweat here, and it's but having said that, we had some issues with the Wi-Fi cutting out this morning and running around, so it's all part of the fun. But yeah, it's great to be able to work as long as I have a Wi-Fi, okay, and and then I can work with clients on Zoom calls online, and that's really, really, the crux of it. So yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
Mm.
No,
Just thought I'd put that in. Yeah, yeah.
what do you do for your clients? So if somebody listening today is thinking, what's a career coach? And why do I need
Yeah,
one?
yeah. Oh, that's okay. So, I think everybody goes through. When you're in a job, you're in a role, and there's a time when you're thinking, I need to do something different, and I'm not happy currently in what I'm doing, or just not fulfilled. Whether that's in your role now, or you're thinking of doing a complete career shift, and most people get stuck. They just don't know what else there is to do, and they think they have to start at the bottom and it's going to take too long. And so I help them, really craft their career in a unique way that's unique to them,
Mhm.
according to their strengths, according to their unique talents, passions, and all that kind of stuff that makes them unique. But make sure, is it aligned to what you're doing in a career? Because you might be very good at something, but you're actually not really utilizing that skill or that talent, that gift you have. And so I really help draw out that within the person, because most people, let's face it, don't spend any time looking at what they could do for a career. They kind of just fall into things, and then once you get there, you think you have to reach the next level and the next level, and most people are like, oh, I'm still not happy. I'm now the director, or I'm now so and so, and I manage a team, but I just really don't like X, Y, and Z. So then people really start questioning, and I come in and help them really navigate that journey, to really make sure that they are having a truly fulfilled career that they're happy with. They wake up with, in the morning, and they're full of joy. And, what are they good at? What are they great at? What do they love? And what can they get paid for? These are the things that we really work on. And it's a process, of course, but that's what, if you're struggling to feel fulfilled, or you're actually happy with your job, but you're not getting anywhere, also help you on your journey in that current role, whether you want to get promoted or you're having trouble with certain things. It's just, and it's a nice holistic way of an approach. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful, actually. I mean, you say about helping people to move careers as well, but also, you touched on helping people to stay within their career and just find happiness within their chosen path where they are right now. So you don't necessarily deal with only big changes. Is that true to say?
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. It could be a complete 360 career change, or a slight pivot, or sometimes it's just doing some slight minimal adjustments within your current career that could help you, a mind shift, or a way you relate, or how you negotiate, or how you present yourself could make all the difference in terms of getting a promotion. How do you communicate, all those kind of things that will make you a high value person in your company.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked
Yeah.
about mind, the mindset is a big thing within the coaching, isn't
Yeah.
it? I mean, everything starts with mindset sometimes when you're reading, you think, okay. So,
Yeah.
if you think that somebody actually does want to be in the job that they're in, but they're just not feeling it in the right way, uh,
Mm.
how do you just do some sort of classic coaching with them and just help them with their mindset, so to enable them to continue what they're doing, or how would that sort of look to you?
Well, I mean, with most of the clients, I still take them through a process of assessing what their strengths are, their abilities are, and do a career audit of where they currently are, because they need to see that, whether they're happy. Are they doing a role where they're playing to their strengths? Are they utilizing their skills? And if that is all there, and they, maybe they just haven't got maybe they have a difficult boss, maybe there are no opportunities. It's not just a technique as a whole. Yes, there are, of course, there's usual techniques, of course, to help with mindset, things like affirmations. I mean, when you say affirmations, it's more than just an affirmation. It's something that you have to work with the individual to get their unique affirmation that's specific to them,
Yeah.
and that works for them at that time. Yeah, does that answer your question? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
does. I mean, I
Yeah.
was thinking that actually this is probably a really good time for you to just tell us a little bit about your specific course that you offer? I know it's a bespoke program, so you do deal with individuals on a
Yeah.
basis, but surely there is a solid background there.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I call my it's a 12-week program called Career Crafters, and it's designed for professionals who are looking to align their career with their passion and purpose, and without the feeling of overwhelm, without frustration, so that they can. So we together we craft a career that's with a path to purpose and success, and that's really, really something that people can sometimes feel like, oh, well, that's not for me. It is for everybody if you just put some time and effort and the investment into yourself. So, yeah, it's a 12-week course, and I take you through some set modules. And it's a structured program, but I tailor it to you as an individual because there's certain things that someone might need and there's certain things another person might not need. So it's all like, that's why it's so good for an individual. As I do one-on-ones on that, because that's my signature program. So yeah, what else can I say about it? It's a 3-pillar process. But if you want to know more, the best thing is that we can have a chat to assess whether it's something that somebody wants to do. Yeah.
Oh, thank you very much. I love the idea that you've got a base there. You've got your 12 weeks. You are going to get people going through a system, but
Yeah.
basically, you still one-to-one.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
Yeah.
still
Yeah. I'll still,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, for example, I had a lady who, within 6 weeks, she had got her ideal job. She'd secured 3 interviews by week 3 or so. And by week 6, we were done in a way. Right. So, and at that time, it was a slightly shorter process, but that's all she needed. So, the 12-week container is there for you if you need it, but it doesn't mean you have to wait for 12 weeks to get the job or get that. And also complete career change could take quite a lot longer. Okay. So I have people we've created their career roadmap within that time and set them on a path towards that. And several years down the road, they are now, one time they came to me, they were working as a waitress, and then now they're 3 or 4 years later, doing their passion, working as a fashion photographer, because we started on that journey where she had no, I guess she wasn't sure she would ever be able to do that. And she still has some of those post-it notes that we worked on that day one. So I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's it's a process, and it varies according to what you want to do. Yeah.
It's very satisfying, isn't it, when clients come back to you and they say, "Oh, Manjinder, this
Yeah.
happened and this has happened," and you're thinking, "Oh, I might have planted that little seed," or just
Yeah, absolutely. I was just, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe she's done that. Of course I can believe it as a phrase, but I'm like so happy that she's done it. And through, I helped her along the journey and planted those seeds, got her going, set her up on a photography business. You know, she had no idea how to do any of that kind of stuff, how to price it, how to do anything, and what to do. So I helped her set up her business at the start. So the coaching process is varied in terms of helping you in your finding a job. But if someone's also equally passionate about starting a business as something that they're passionate about, I'm obviously going to help you on that and love doing that as well. So yeah.
So I suppose people come to you when they've got an idea, but they don't really know how to go about implementing it. So
Yeah.
you're leading them sort of with coaching. You're leading them to find their own answers.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah. So it's a mixture of coaching, traditional techniques, and then there's a bit of mentoring going on. Obviously, I've done, so I mix everything, and I've also done, I've spent hundreds of pounds on transformational courses, sorry, retreats. I've done
Oh,
my own work. I've learned all these from therapy to coaching to all sorts of wacky things that so I bring everything I've learned into that whole package as and when needed. So there could be something about diet in there, like Ayurvedic diets, or there could be something about the Osho dynamic meditation, like these things, somatic learning, all this stuff that people just don't know about, right? And on average, and so I don't teach it in that way. I just kind of give them an exercise to do to help them
nice.
whatever their need. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
So
So tell me more about your own journey then as well, because you brought all these other modalities in. What
Yeah.
was there a pivoting moment? Was there a you know a bit where you thought, oh gosh, okay, something's got to change, or what happened?
Well, I think I've had a few of those in my life, right? So, as you get older, there's more and more things that happen. So, yes, there were quite a few pivoting moments. And one of them was when I really wanted to get away from the corporate world and I wanted to become a yoga instructor because I felt like I needed a big shift. And that was a huge pivot, a massive pivot. And even then I was like, what am I doing? But it just something compelled me. I needed to do something that was a sort of a detox, a cleansing, a start, a beginning, an awakening, a spiritual journey, that kind of thing. So it was something that I was deeply interested in, and I wanted to travel, and I went to India and I learned how to be a yoga instructor there, and then came back, and then I went back into the corporate world at that time, mainly for money, because it was like, yoga as a business. I wasn't going to do that at that time, and so I went back into the corporate world. So, but after being back in the corporate world, something was still within me going, there's something more that you need to be doing. There's something else and there was a kind of yearning, a kind of something there, going through me that I need to be doing something else. What is that thing? And because I've been through that, I can help others to kind of expedite that journey and get to where they need to. So at that point, I think the pivotal point was in my last role, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with this thing now. It's time to move on. It's lovely, it's great, it pays well. Yeah, there were a few issues, but we won't go into that. But what happened is it really helped me to understand that, right, I need to be doing something different, something that makes me truly happy, something that makes me fulfilled, and I'm really good at. And so I did an assessment of myself, like, reflecting on what I could be doing much better. And that's how I that was the major pivot moment. And I ended up on this journey towards being a career coach. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Do you think this is your final career?
I would never say a final career. I've had what they call it's not a straight line career, straight up. I've done that straight up and then done this and then done that and then done this. So it's, which is quite, and I think that's a very good thing to do in this day and age, because you become very adaptable. You've exposed yourself to a variety of different environments, people and cultures. So is this the final thing? For right now, I'm happy. But whether I shift or branch out to doing different things, yeah, that is absolutely a possibility. So career coaching, and then it might be something else, slightly different, slight different flavor. I'm not ruling anything out at the moment. No.
I'll be watching you. Okay. Oh, I
Okay.
love that. So, what would you, if you had to give a piece of advice to somebody? Because people who
Mm.
are listening might be thinking, "Oh, yeah, I want to change my career," or they might be thinking, "I want to do what she's doing." I want
Yeah.
to be sitting on the beach in
Yeah.
Bermuda, and I want to be doing what she's doing. So, what sort of advice would you give to somebody starting out who has potentially very little experience of coaching?
Okay. As for someone who wants to be a
Yeah, I
coach,
was
you're
thinking,
talking.
yeah, Manjinder, I want your job, right?
Right, right, right. Okay. So yeah, as an advice to a coach. Okay. Well, first of all, it's that's a good one.
It
Mm,
doesn't have to be one.
I
You don't
never.
have to limit it to one. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so if you as a coach, I think, go with what you're good at. Go with I always look at what what do you do naturally. What is it that you are naturally drawn to? Have you got some experience? If you're talking about a niche, how niche down. That's the first thing. You can't be everything to everyone, because you're just going to burn yourself. At the beginning you might do that, but niche down into sort of one area, and how do you do that? That's very difficult, but make sure you spend some time trying trial and error. Just keep doing things, practicing. And it's not an easy journey when you're working as a coach. So don't give up. get a coach yourself, get mentored yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing. If you're just on your own, it can be very lonely, and it can be very, there's no one to bounce ideas off, there's no one to talk to. So I would suggest getting help early on straight away, and sign up to a coach who's doing what you want to do. And if you want to go and live and travel abroad, then yeah, that opportunity is available. You can come and ask me how I did it, but
Really?
but the thing is, like, you do need to help from someone, and I think it does help if you are being coached by someone that's done the thing that you're doing,
Yeah.
because in theory you can help, but I think the experience and
Mm.
what they've been through that they can impart to you is priceless. And and I think that's really important as well. So and that whole thing about just trial and error, yeah, just keep going and try different things, be explorative, um but don't give up so much straight away, because it is not easy. I'm going to say that it's not easy. It's not for everyone. First of all,
Yeah.
if you think that this is a great lifestyle and you want this, you see all these adverts, like, you're earning 10K a week or whatever. That's not really, that's a bit fabricated. Yes, there is that happening, but you're not going to get that on day one. And
Mm.
what you see there is like years and years, or a lot of expertise and time and effort has gone into that for that someone to then become like that. So um it's not as glamorous as it sounds. Okay, so it's not as glamorous. Yeah.
I do think that's important to point out because, when I, first started learning about coaching,
Yeah.
and everywhere it says to you, be a coach, you can do this, you can do that, you can make X amount, and it's
Yeah.
really pushing you, but it fails to tell you that you've got to bring yourself into the role. There has to be
Yeah.
a personal element of the coaching. And also, as you touched on, and I'd love to hear more about this, it's not an easy quick fix, is it? It's not an easy quick development. I mean,
No.
how long has it taken you to sort of really build your business up to where you're happy with it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still not happy with it. I'm still building. I'm always, in a business, you're always having to develop, otherwise
Mm.
it's not going to work. And, I've been seriously doing this for the last 4 years. And even in that journey, there's been real ups and downs, and moments where I was ready to throw in the towel, and I've done it, I can't, let's just go back into work. But as soon as I heard myself saying that, I was like, no, no, you can't do that. Not that there was anything wrong with going back into work, all that's the reason why I chose it was not because I hate working in a job. I loved it. There was some great perks, holidays, great pay,
Yeah.
travel, etc. Bring it on. But I wanted to do something that where I was in charge of.
Mhm.
And so, sorry, the question was, I've just drifted off. Is
No,
like, what were
I
the,
love it when you drift off. It's fine. I mean, just
yeah,
tell me more about your where you thought, okay, so I can't cope with this anymore. Talk
yeah.
to yourself. So, did you have a coach?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh.
I started with a coach, and and the honest thing is, I thought after a while,
Mm.
and I wasn't really utilized. Well, wasn't really with that coach anymore,
Mm.
and then I was like, oh, I could do this on my own. That's when I actually went down. And so then I realized I needed a coach that is doing what I want and can help inspire me, motivate me, and not just that, but just help me with strategy and help me just sort of re-energize the business, me and my business. So
Mm.
as soon as I hired a new coach, that's when I started getting more and more back into it again. Um, I mean, I guess everyone's different, but that for me, that definitely is important, because I also, we can't operate on our own, and we can get lonely. Just, oh, I'm the one man person or one woman person band, and it's not always going to be easy doing it on your own. So it's important to get help and seek help. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, or form it. You don't have to necessarily invest in one, but at least form some kind of collaboration as you are. Those kind of things really do help keep you connected to other people in the industry. Yeah, and I just when it and I think the other thing I started to doing was like getting back out there in terms of getting out to network shows, to conferences and those kind of things. It just gets you back into meeting other people again, and in the field, and you're like, oh right, okay. It just gives you a boost of energy as well. So a lot of things. That's the short answer. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
totally agree with that. Getting out there, meeting people, even if it is
Yeah.
in an online space as well.
Yeah.
Networking doesn't necessarily, well, these days it's hardly ever face to face, is it? So
Yeah.
how did you go about choosing your coach? Because there's a big question a lot of people sort of do ask, do you just go with the first person you see advertised, word of mouth? What do you look for? And what would you suggest that somebody looking for a coach, maybe to change their career, would look for in potentially
Mm.
someone like you or similar? Or where would
Mhm.
they find that support?
So the question is, how would someone choose a coach?
Hmm.
See, I don't ask that question. It's the other way around. Okay, how would someone? So that's a good
Well,
question. I
your own
guess it's
experience of choosing a coach.
um, well, I think it's important to. I don't know. Okay, like you said, it's nowadays it's not you're not necessarily going to meet them in person, so it's usually online somewhere. You've come across maybe their ad or you've seen them on social media, and I guess the first, go with your gut instinct. Do you like that person? Do you gel with that person? And, but why? Because is what they're saying? Does that resonate with you? Does it land with you? Which is why I guess social media is important, even though sometimes we're like, oh God, you know, sharing what that person's about, what they're offering, who they are just in their life, will help you to get to know them and see, build you can see they're credible. You can see that they're responsible, and everybody. If you put people like, oh, this is a career coach, that's a career coach. How do I choose one? You have to speak to them, and go with your vibe. I don't take on everybody that I speak to because I feel like they're not a good fit, and I'm not. I don't think they're a good fit for me, and vice versa. So they have to be open to coaching, or maybe my style is not the right style for them.
Mm-hmm.
So just having that initial chat with them, check out their socials, and if you've got a recommendation, that's even better. So my coach came through to me because somebody I knew was already working with them and was having great results.
Perfect.
So
Perfect.
and I knew her already, and I met her actually a couple of years ago, but and just seen her on social media, followed her on social media, and that's how I realized that actually I like what she's doing. I want some of that kind of thing. It's very inspiring, and yeah. So there's not one answer because everyone's unique and different. So choose based on what you're. First of all, you'd have to decide what you need and what you want, and it's not always clear. It's clear cut. I want X, Y, and Z, and that's going to be delivered. So some people want a price sort of checklist of a shopping list of what they want, and coaching doesn't always work like that. Yeah,
Very rarely.
because
So,
yeah, yeah, because I might be working on from their career side, but I inevitably always touch upon the rest of their life, and so it becomes about their career, but it's also about other things. We start talking about other things, family, relationships, and we'll definitely touch upon health because career well-being is important, and that's your health, right? So, and that's a huge part of any changes that you want to make. So I think has to be a big part of it, of my ethos anyway. I try to anyway.
well,
Yeah,
you've always
yeah,
said, you like
yeah,
the holistic,
yeah,
all of that. Of course, it's all going to be involved in that.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much. Gosh, doesn't the time go fast?
It goes really fast.
Before we
Yeah.
go, would you like to tell our listeners just a little bit more about your program and how to get in touch with you if they're interested, maybe just having a chat?
Yeah, absolutely. There's several ways. You can get me on my social media, or you can email me on Manjinder at mkjconsulting.limited, or you can just find me on Instagram or as MKJ Consulting Limited, on LinkedIn, Manjinder Jewel. Just type in Manjinder Jewel, or Facebook. You can find me there. Message me on there. And the other one is just my number, right? So, but I'm sure you can there's several ways.
Loads of ways, yeah.
Just message me, and if you're interested in exploring that further, we can have a chat. And it's just it's a no obligation call. There's no pressure, and we can discuss what it is that you're struggling with, what your challenge is, and hopefully, if I can help you, we can start the ball rolling. Yeah.
Do you know, just on that point, I know it's old fashioned, but I love it when people phone me.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they've picked up the phone and actually called me. I mean, a message is good too, but
Yeah. Well, exactly. I mean, nobody calls these days, do they? Even when it's just like a voice note now, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I think people are scared of calling. When somebody calls me, what happened? Everything okay? Hello, it was just a call.
I think because we feel obliged. It's a funny thing, isn't it? We feel obliged to answer the phone, but actually, you know what? We take it in our own time. I think it's if you can't answer the phone now, you phone them back, and somebody's phone you. Wow, that's so cool.
I think it's really important because talking to someone rather than a message or email, whatever, it's really important to have that. You can convey so much more in a conversation as we're doing now, than written or whatever. So there's a lot more going on in a conversation. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. You've been so insightful, knowledgeable and open, and I'm so grateful. So grateful that you've taken the time. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on here. It's been a huge pleasure. Thank you for putting me on here, and it's been great to reconnect with you again, Darshana. Yeah.
Can we just tell them that story about the brownies? Because I have to say, when Manjinder popped back into my life a few years ago, afterwards, I remembered a memory of when we were probably about 10, maybe
something like that. Yeah.
And in her kitchen, we were making chocolate brownies. I just remember them in your kitchen, sitting on the side there, thinking, right, we're going to eat all those chocolate brownies that we've made now. Years later, look, we're doing something else together. It's just
we're now creating a new recipe together, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Wonderful. I know those chocolate brownies. I can just about remember them, and I think you're making me want to eat chocolate brownies again. Yeah.
Chocolate brownies. It was wonderful, really, really lovely. Thank you so much for all your time and wonderful words of wisdom. And
thank you. You're welcome.
Soon. Thank you. Now,
thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. You take care.
Bye. Bye.